Okay, we are live actually. Hello, 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 hola, namaste. Um, I don't know, hello in whatever language. Hello, welcome to today's live stream. As you all know, I'm Ace. I think I'm pretty popular, right? Actually,
Don't start with me today. Leave me alone.
yeah, I think I'm pretty popular. So,
The
as you all know, I'm
celebrity.
Ace. I'm Ace. I love hosting live streams. Any kind of stream actually. In as much as it is related to ASIN KPI. I'm ASIN KPI's biggest fan, right? So let's go down to business. I'm Ace. And with me here today, I have Tuli, our amazing community manager. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't introduce you, Tuli. I guess you should introduce yourself.
I must introduce myself. You're the one who invited me, so are you not supposed to introduce me?
I don't want to do that. You should introduce yourself. You know yourself better than anyone.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Julie. Um, yeah, what do I do, by the way? Yeah, I'm a KPI community manager. Yeah, so I'm here helping Ace. So when Ace is not hosting the streams, yeah, you usually see my face around. So yeah, that's me for you.
Yes. Yes, she's my buddy. She helps me a lot. So thanks, Sully. That was an amazing introduction. And as you all know, if you're watching from anywhere, so you know today's live stream is about Google Summer of Code. Yes, it's in KPI got selected for this year's Google Summer of Code, which is a really big thing for us. It's our first time. And all thanks to Alejandra for the amazing application. That was really, really helpful. So let's see if we have any comment on YouTube. Um,
Yeah,
so
we
we
got
have
Ashmi joining.
Ashmit. Yeah, hi Ashmit. Thanks for joining. Um, okay, we are gonna keep an eye out for comments and chats. So we're gonna respond to every question we get today. So a quick introduction about Google Summer of Code. As you all know, Google Summer of Code is actually a big thing to students or candidates interested in contributing to open source. And this year, SNKPI got selected, which means SNKPI is on the list of selected organizations for 2024 Google Summer of Code. So without no further ado, let's get right into it. Let's get down to business. So I have created a list of questions already that I've
Okay.
received privately in our Slack channel, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn about our participation in Google Summer of Code this year. So I'm going to, before I get started, if you have any question, please let me know. Okay, so we have a question, so let's get down to it. So the first question I'm going to answer is, so I get a lot of questions from candidates saying, hey, I see it's in KPI got selected and post one also got selected, and we have like the same project in the list of project ideas in this in KPI and also the same project ideas in Postman, right? And so I'm going to like clarify that's part. So yeah, as you all know, in previous years, ASIN KPI always participates alongside Postman, right? So this year we wanted to do the same thing because last year we got rejected, a year before we got rejected, right? So this year we also wanted to like try it again, right? So we wanted to, in case we get rejected this year, we are gonna use like participate alongside Postman, and that was why we also applied through Postman. But fortunately for us, we got accepted in both Postman and ASIN KPI as an organization. So the whole question of hey, is why do we have this project ideas in this KPI and also have the same project ideas in Postman list of project ideas is basically because we want to increase our odds of getting more slots, right? So right now we have 7 list of projects, 7 proposed project ideas. That same 7 is also what you are going to find in the Postman list of project ideas. So, and the reason why we are doing that is basically because we want to get more slots, right? So, Postman, we have the odds of us getting more slots is actually higher than async KPI, because I think based on my research, I noticed that newly accepted organizations might end up with 2 or 3 slots, right? Which is not really, I mean, to me, it is not really nice. But I mean, with other organizations that have been participating in Google Summer of Code for a while, I think they're getting more slots. And thank goodness, we have Postman. So with Postman, we are going to get more slots, right? So if async KPI ends up getting 3 slots as an organization, we are still going to like get more slots from Postman. And also, if you all notice from Postman, we don't just have async KPI project ideas, we also have project ideas from JSON schema, right? Um, sorry. We also have project ideas from JSON schema, right? So which basically means the slot from Postman is going to be shared between JSON schema and async KPI, right? Also, JSON schema also got accepted as a mentoring organization. So which means we are both relying heavily on the slots we are going to get from Postman to increase our odds of getting more slots, right? So if async KPI ends up with 3 slots, right? So the odds of us like having 4 or 3 slots from Postman is actually high, right? So which means at the end of the day, we will be able to like push all the project ideas through Google Summer of Code this year. So you don't have to worry about why we have like same project ideas in async KPI and also in Postman. And that is the main reason why we have that, just to increase our odds of getting more slots and also have a successful Google Summer of Code. So that's the first question I want to like give an answer to. So there's a comment from Ashmit. Maybe some of my doubts will be clarified by your list of questions. We're asking if they aren't in your list. Of course, please feel free to ask them if they are not in my list, right? So if you have any question about the first one, please let me know. The first one is, let me just recap. The first one is, let me just summarize. The first one is the reason why we have duplicate project in both async KPI and Postman. And the reason is just for us to get more slots, right? At the end of the day, because the odds of async KPI as an organization getting more slots is incredibly lower than Postman. The odds of Postman giving us more slots is higher than async KPI, right? That is why we have these duplicate projects in both async KPI and Postman. So the second question is, if we have the same project ideas in async KPI and Postman, which one should I submit my application to? Yes, that one is pretty it's pretty technical. I wouldn't say technical, is a bit difficult for contributors, interested candidates, and I'm going to provide an answer to how to do that, right? So let's say, for instance, you are interested in the async KPI website UI kits project, right? And you want to like submit your proposal for that particular project. So how do you do that? Do you submit it via async KPI or do you submit it via Postman? Because I think I know not of my thing. Applicants only have 3. They can only submit 3 applications, right? So which means if you are you have to be skeptical, you have to be smart about it, right? So what I would advise you do is, if you are applying, if you are trying to submit an application for, let's say, the async KPI website UI kit, you should submit your application both for Postman and for async KPI for that project. And I know you might say, hey, yes, why do we have to do that? I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why we have duplicate projects is so that we can get more slots, right? And the slot is determined by the amount of application each individual organization receives, right? So if we end up like saying, okay, submit your application for the website UI kits through async KPI, right? And not via Postman. Async KPI, this is our first time participating in Google Summer of Code, right? And as I said earlier, the odds of us getting more slots is not promising, right? Unlike Postman, the odds of Postman receiving more slots is promising than its KPI. So the best way is, if you are submitting your application, you should submit it for both its KPI and for Postman. So that is the best way to actually make us get more slots, right? Because if we say, if everyone is submitting the application to SNKPI and not to Postman, we might end up with less slots, right? With lesser slots. And we did not want that to happen, right? So it is better if you are, if you are submitting your application through both organizations. I just want to clarify, this is not a must. This is not a must. So it is not a must to do that, right? If you want to like submit via SN KPI, it's fine. And because you are interested in other organizations and other project ideas from other organizations, it is fine. It is okay to submit either through Postman or through SN KPI. But if you think you are only interested in participating or applying or submitting application for only SNKPI related projects, then I would advise you submit it both for SNKPI and for Postman so that we can get more slots. So there's a question from Ashmit. If I'm preparing for 2 or 3 different projects with SNKPI, should I apply one in Postman and other 2 in SNKPI or reverse? Thanks for the question, Ashmit. So I would advise you submit 2 via Postman and 1 via SNKPI, right? So because, as I said earlier, it is best for us if we get more application on the Postman side than on the SNKPI, right? So that way we would get more slots, because either we get more application. If we get more application from the sync API, I can't promise us ending up with more slots, right? Because this is the first time a sync API as an organization is participating in Google Summer of Code, unlike Postman that has participated in, I think, 2 or 3 years. So if more application go through Postman, then we might eventually end up with more slots than if more application go through async API. So if you are gonna submit like 3 different projects for async API, Ashmit, I would advise 2 of those applications go through Postman and 1 of those applications goes to async API. That would be the best in my opinion. So we have another question from Ashish. Are slots provided to projects or organizations? So slots are provided to projects, to organizations, right? So based on my understanding, the way Google give us slots is determined by the amount of applications those organizations get, right? So let's say it's KPI gets a lot of applications for different projects, right? So it means we are probably going to end up with more slots at KPI. So it's not provided as slots are not provided to projects but to organizations, because at the end of the day each project eventually gets at least, I think, one candidate. So slots are provided to organizations, not to projects. I hope that answers your question, Ashish. So we have another question from Ashmit. Should I submit my priority project in the single API or Postman, or it doesn't matter? Ashmit, thanks for the question. You should submit your priority project through Postman. If you are trying to like manage your slots, I would advise you submit your priority project to Postman. Please do through Postman, not through async API. So your priority project should go through Postman. Then your other project should go through async API.
Okay, I have a question. Won't it
Okay.
cause confusion, like since more people might prefer to apply through Postman than as in KPI?
Mhm. Sorry, what's the question to you?
I'm saying, won't it cause confusion, like if we have more applications under Postman than Async API?
Confusion for the
For
students?
people who are applying, yeah. For
No,
people
no,
who are
no.
interested in just
No, it won't. It won't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically the same project, right? It's the same
okay,
organization at the end of the day. So we are only using Postman as a means to get more slots.
okay,
So your application would be reviewed the same way by the same mentor, irrespective of which organization you submit your application to. So
Okay.
just have it at the back of your mind that when you're submitting this application, either through Ising KPI or through Postman, we are still going to be the one to review the proposal, the application, right? It is still the same KPI organization at the end of the day. So just say it as two organizations that have one common goal, right? It doesn't matter if you submit it through Postman or through Sync KPI. At the end of the day, it's still a Sync KPI. Did that answer your question to you?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. So we have another question from Ashish. So let's say a project has been selected for slots in the Sync KPI. However, what if I have applied in Postman? Will my application be considered? So I'm going to read the question again to understand it. So let's say a project has been selected for slots in the Sync API. However, what if I have applied in Postman? Yes, definitely, your application will be considered. So that is what I was trying to like explain to Tuli. So irrespective of which organization your application is submitted through, right? We are still going to be the ones to like review to review it. We are still going to be the ones to select it. So when Google, right, when Google like gives out these slots, so Google doesn't give out the slots per project, right? So Google gives out slots that it is left to the organization to select which projects are going to go through these available slots, right? So, and at the end of the day, we mostly select projects with the most engagement, right? The projects with most applications are going to be the ones with priority. I hope that understand answered your question, Ashish. Okay, so Akshat asked, have you updated the GSOC project ideas list? Yes, it has been updated. Suli, can you share the link?
Already shared. Just scroll above.
Okay, nice. So just scroll above the chat, Akshat, you're gonna find it there. Akshat says, but I can see my name listed in two projects. Yes, Akshat. The reason why you have your name listed in two projects was because we just decided, you and I personally, just like had a conversation about removing you from one of the projects and replacing you with a new mentor. And you know, haste with haste, I was too lazy to do that yesterday. That will be updated after the stream. Akshat. So sorry about it. I mean, you should be happy. It makes you popular, right? Yes. So any other question before I move on to the next question on my list?
I think there's no more questions. I'm also checking on Slack if there's any.
Okay. So the next question on my list is actually how can I increase my odds of being selected? Ooh, I mean that is the most asked question, right? So the first thing I want to mention is I am not the one responsible for selecting candidates, right? So a lot of people have that misconception of thinking I am the one in charge of like selecting candidates and try to like build that relationship with me. I'm not, right? No matter how hard you try to like make me like you, at the end of the day, it is not my decision to make. It is the decision of the mentor. As you can see, some of the projects have more than one mentors, right? I mean, one person would not make a decision. In projects where there are more than one mentors, both the mentors will be the ones to like decide who they think who they think the best candidate is, right? So you should be aware of that. And also like concerning how you can increase your odds of being selected, please follow the when writing your proposal, when writing your application, please make sure you follow the application templates that was provided. I don't think if you've seen it, actually, do you have the link?
Yes, I will put it here.
Okay, so Tolu is going to share the link to the application template. So when writing your GSOC application, please follow the application template. It will be easier for you to write your application template. And this we already have in the application template. You can see the list of things we are actually looking forward to, right? So if you follow the application template, I believe that might increase your odds of being selected. And also in the application template, we also have the mentor's guidance. So if you're thinking, okay, how can I convince my mentor I'm the best candidate, we also have a mentor guidance, as you can see in the chart. We can go to the mentors guidance to see what mentors are actually looking for in interested candidates, right? So you can check the mentors guidance and see how you can, write your proposal in such a way that you will sell yourself to your mentor and make your mentor want to choose you. So before I move on, there's a comment or a chat from Gupta. Hey, please review my request in conference report. Really? So I'm going to do that, Gupta. I'm going to do that. I'm so sorry. I'm busy. I'll make sure I do that as soon as I can. The next question is from Sharma. Should we have previous contributions to receive there to get selected? So I get these questions a lot, and it's also like on my list of questions I want to answer. So I'm going to put it this way, right? Having a previous system KPI contribution is actually a plus, right? Not a requirement. It is a plus, right? It is not a requirement. If you don't have previous contributions to system KPI, it is fine, right? You can still go ahead and apply. But if you have previous contributions to system KPI, I believe that is a plus, right? It can actually boost your odds of being selected. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have it, right? It's not a must, right? But also if you have previous open source contributions, that is not a KPI, maybe to some other open source organization, right? You can also include that. That is also like a plus that can increase your odds of being selected. So you can also have that. If you have it, you can do it, but it's not a must, right? If you don't have previous KPI contribution or previous open source contribution, it is fine. I mean, that is not a requirement. You can still go ahead and submit your application. I mean, you will say if your mentor sees you as a fit candidate, your mentor will choose you regardless if you have past open source contributions or not. But just to emphasize on that, it is a plus. I believe personally, not my belief doesn't like mean that is what all mentors also believe. But to me, I believe personally it would increase your chances of being selected, but it is not a must.
Just to add on that, you don't need like to start opening pull requests in the community or anything. As long if your application is good, you have gone through what the requirements of the projects are and tailor make your application and the requirements. The most important thing is to follow the application guidelines and what the project really requires. Then definitely your application will stand out. It's not by DMing me or Ace or by DMing the mentor. Trust me, that won't score you any points, but just make sure you follow the instructions that are there on the application, what is needed on the project. And a person who's attentive to details stands a better chance to get the application approved. So yeah, you don't need to be a contributor, but just show interest in GSOC and in the community and follow the instructions on the project. Then your application will definitely be selected.
Definitely. Thanks for the addition, Tully. So I mean, you don't have to start opening a bunch of pull requests or spamming just to say you have contributed to the project, and just it won't work that way. Mentors are smarter than that, so keep that in mind. So I think we have another question. Where can I submit the proposal? From Sherry? Where can I submit the proposal? On the mentor channel? Oh, okay. Sorry, Sherry, just to be clear, when you say submit your proposal, do you mean for the mentor to review it or to submit your final Google Summer of Code proposal? Because if you want to submit your proposal for the mentor to actually review it and give you feedback, then you should definitely do that directly with the mentor. You can reach out to me on Slack if you don't know the mentor's name. I can give it to you. But if you mean submitting your proposal for Google Summer of Code application, that you can do that. You have to do that on the Google Summer of Code website. I hope that answers your question, Sherry. Yes. So if talking about submitting the proposal, one thing I believe you should do, right, is also make sure you before the deadline for application. I would advise you to also like, share your drafts with your mentor. Mentors are willing to give feedback, right? I believe it's something I'm also doing with some of the folks that have sent me their proposal so far to help them review it. Mentors can help you review your proposals, right? And also, it doesn't have to just be mentors. You can actually reach out to any of the CKPI community members to help you review your proposal. I'm willing to help review proposals also. So before the deadline, before you go ahead and submit your final proposal, I would also encourage you to share your proposal with your mentors before actually submitting your final proposal to help them review it, because I believe they can help you improve it and also share some tips on how to like, increase your chances of being selected.
Okay, I have a question.
Actually,
You know how busy maintainers and mentors are?
mhm.
So, what's the best way for your proposal to be reviewed? Because there tends to be a timeline, right? Then, how best should they submit for feedback? Should it be in a Google template? Should it be a long DM? Um, how will they do that?
Yeah. So talking about formats, I would
Mm-hmm.
advise you to submit your proposal for feedback via Google Docs or
Mm-hmm.
PDF. So if
Mm-hmm.
you send it via chat, that can be overwhelming. I also
Yes.
personally don't like it because it is
Mm-hmm.
difficult for me to like focus and read it thoroughly. So I would advise you to either share your proposal via PDF or via Google Docs, right? I think Google Docs is also like the most easiest way to get feedback because the mentor can actually highlight some parts that needs improvement. So just invite your mentor or make your doc public for review. So your
Mm-hmm.
mentor would, or whoever it is that's reviewing your proposal can help you, can give you feedback. So I would advise don't send your proposal as text or
Mm-hmm.
as a message on Slack or email. Please share it as a,
Mm-hmm.
as a document, either PDF or Google Docs. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I'll also want to just add on, send it on a Google link because I know I received a few long DMs. It gets overwhelming. Mentors are busy, trust me. So also take time to do it, like submit it in time if you want feedback before the final proposal, because it might take a few days until they get back, they give you feedback. And also please be patient. Mentors are very busy, like I said. So make sure that whatever draft you do, just put your best in, as much if they come and give you feedback, it will be easier to put out your final application. So the sooner you get started, the sooner you started the project, do your research, the easier and the better the mentor will help you. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Please send it as soon as possible. Please don't wait for deadline. And I don't also want you to, put the mentors in a tight spot. So it's better you
Mm-hmm.
do it now that is enough time. Send
Mm-hmm.
your proposals for initial reviews. So you have enough time to, you know, submit a final application. And also during this application phase, you should
Mm-hmm.
also try to, if you have time, contribute to some of these projects to show your mentor that you actually understand the project.
Yeah.
So we
And
have a
also,
question. Okay,
oh,
okay, sorry.
and also, please avoid using ChatGPT to do your work. Please, please, please. I'm going to emphasize this enough because they will know. They will
Yes,
know.
they
So
will
in
know.
as much as they will know. So take your time to really research, really get familiar with the project, how the project is aligned. Yes, you might get a few ideas from ChatGPT, but please try and avoid to just copy and paste the whole project proposal and submit it via AI. Please avoid that. Just put your best application. Trust me, you will get selected. But if you do it via ChatGPT or whichever AI, then unfortunately they will notice. Then you will wonder why my application didn't get selected because of this. Yeah.
I also like want to like add one more thing as part of the things you should look out for is also most one of the most important thing mentors are looking for is actually communication. So I
Mm-hmm.
think during this phase is actually the best time to convince your mentor that you communicate effectively. Because I've received a lot of DMs from interested candidates that I find really nonchalant. That
Mm-hmm.
actually makes me feel like I don't think this person is gonna be a fit, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So don't be nonchalant about how you communicate with your mentors. Don't just say, "Hey, like this project. Hey, do this. Hey, do that." No, it doesn't work like that. You have to communicate with your mentors effectively, and also these are things I believe mentors are also on the look for. They would want to choose someone that during this time is actually the best time to convince your mentor that you communicate effectively. So please and please don't be nonchalant. Don't just send DMs like you don't care, because if you do that, mentors also will not care about your application.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I'm going back to saying be patient. So if you need help, just make sure you just write one message, summarize what you need from the mentor, summarize the help that you need, and send just one DM. Not to send a bunch of DM. Like I said, they are also busy. It gets overwhelming to get like multiple DMs, of which it can be summarized into one message. So, like I said, take time to also research. There are other questions that you can ask that you'll be like, really? You could have find it on the community. So make sure that you do your research, you take time to really read through the projects. If there's something that you don't understand, you can post it on the contribution channel and try to avoid spamming. Unless really it's necessary, then you can directly DM the mentor or the code owner of the project. Yeah.
Yes, that is actually an important aspect. So let's move on to the next question from Sherry. So I can submit my application via the link, and for the features like project ideas, I need to reach out to the mentors. So what link are you talking about, Sherry? I'm trying to understand what you mean by I can submit my application via the link, and for the project ideas, I need to reach out to the mentor. So can you rephrase your question, Sherry, or do you understand what it's trying to say, or she trying to say to you?
Or maybe she's saying that if I have a project idea that I want to submit, can I just share a rough draft before the final application on the GSOC website?
So if you want to submit a rough draft, no, you should not. I would advise you to do it through the GSOC application website. I would advise you to do it. You should reach out to directly to the mentor on Slack, right? You can reach out to the mentor directly on Slack. If you don't, and I said earlier, if you don't know the mentor's handle or the mentor's name on Slack, you can reach out to me. Tuli, and can you share the Slack link? So you can reach out to me
Oh
on
yeah.
Slack to help you reach out to the mentor. And also, I am also open to help you review your application. I am really open to that. So I can help you review your applications and tell you what to improve. And also, if you would prefer the mentor for the project to do it, also please reach out to the mentor directly. Because I would advise not to submit your application now. I would advise you submit your application for review to through the mentors or anyone from the CPPI community. That would really help you instead of submitting your application directly. I hope that answers your question, Sherry. If it doesn't, please rephrase your question in the chat. So we have a question from Ashmit. Yeah, you can DM your mentor with a link to the. Of course. Thanks for answering, Ashmit. You can do that. You can do that, Sherry. So we have another question from Akshat. Hi, Ace. Can you please add detailed timeline as a mandatory heading inside proposal template? I think we should be clear about the timelines with the mentee. I'm trying to understand what you mean by having detailed timeline as a mandatory heading inside proposal template. Actually, so I don't really, do you understand what actually is trying to say?
Like is it the submission timeline or the project timeline? If it's the project timeline, I'm not sure if like those week one. I saw something like week one, you must do this, week two, something similar to that.
So actually, so just to like explain what the proposal template is for, the proposal template is just like what we expect the mentor, sorry, the mentee or the interested candidate should have when submitting their proposal, when submitting their application. So that is what the template is for, except if I don't understand what you mean by having detailed timeline as a mandatory heading inside proposal template. Oh, you
Okay.
mean, oh, I think I understand what Akshat is saying.
Hmm.
So you mean we should point it out there in the proposal that when submitting a proposal, you should include the project timeline, how long it's going to take you, and also a breakdown on how you are going to like approach the project.
Hmm.
So yes, I think don't we have that?
No, we
Um,
don't. I
we
didn't
don't.
see on the
I'm gonna
template.
check. You sure?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna check. Give me a few seconds just to confirm. Just
Hey, I'm looking at the doc. I said it's not there. It's not there. Ah,
that's so. Oh, really? I mean, if it is not there, that is actually really nice of you. Actually, I thought it was included there.
okay. I think we have another question.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think
So
it is the same. Sorry. I think it is also, well, basically, it is the same thing. What the um, fourth section of the project information actually means. But it says, how do you plan to finish the project on schedule? For instance, what are the important milestones? What is the approximate timeline for reaching them? I think
oh yeah,
that basically
yeah.
means the same,
Hmm.
except if actually means something else. Please let me know in the chat, actually.
Yeah, but also like we said that your draft, if the mentor wants to see the week one, I'm gonna do this, week two, I'm gonna do this, they will just mention it. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
win-win.
it's a win-win. So if your mentor wants you to like do that, fine. That's up to the mentor, I think. But it is specified in the project template what we need. So it also includes the project timeline. So and I believe yes, you should also. I mean, you should include the project timeline when you're submitting your proposal for review, so the mentor can understand how you plan on approaching the project. So the
Okay,
next
we have
question,
another question.
you want to
How
read
can
that,
I have
Anthony?
yeah, how can I have my proposal reviewed before submitting it finally? Would be great if you share it again.
You want to answer that?
Uh okay. How can I have my proposal reviewed before submitting it finally? Will be great if you share it again. Okay, so we previously discussed this. So you detail your project, how you approach the project on your Google Docs. Then you can reach out to the mentor. Hi, Ace. My name is Tuli. I'm interested in the conference website. So this is an example, right? Hi, Ace. I'm interested in the conference website. So I've drafted a proposal. This is how I will approach the project. Please, when you have time, could you please review and improve it? Then you share the Google link, then Ace will provide me the feedback. So, like we said, the sooner you take time to draft, the earlier the mentor will have time to give you detailed feedback before you finally submit your proposal via the Google Summer of Code website. I hope that answers the question, Vishal.
Okay, so we have another question from Ashley. How detailed the proposed timeline should be? Is it okay for having a weekly milestone, or that depends on the mentor's priority? So I believe that is not like, it doesn't have anything to do with mentor, and that is why we said you should have a draft review by the mentor, right, before submitting
Mm-hmm.
a final one. So if you have a draft review by the mentor can provide you feedback on what he or she expects you to have in the proposal, right? So if the mentor wants you to have a detailed proposed timeline, the mentor would let you know. If the mentor wants you to have your timeline in whatever format, maybe what you would do every day or what you do hourly, that is up to the mentor. That is why it is best before you submit your final application, make sure you make your mentor review the application before submitting it. So you shouldn't submit it before the mentor reviews it. Make sure the mentor reviews it so the mentor can provide feedback, because it is different mentors have what they are expecting from
Mm-hmm.
each
Mm-hmm.
respective candidate. So I would advise you come up with a draft, no matter how simple or complex your draft is. Share with your mentor, let your mentor provide the feedback. Your mentor will tell you what he or she expects from you.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, you can go on the project list and click on the project description or discussion. I like, for example, there is one that Lucas really detailed how he would like to see your project, how he would like to see your proposal structured. So, like I said, make sure you do take time to research so that it is easier for the mentor to give you feedback. Just follow the instructions that is there, put down the proposal, because I saw that is an example on this project, like the generator project. There is like notes and everything, how your proposal should demonstrate what is needed. Then you can take it from there before submitting your final proposal. So yeah.
All right. Let's see. I think we have another question from Ashish. Maybe can discuss with maintainer to understand the perfect exactly what Tuli just explained. It is best to reach out to the, so when you say maintainer, or you mean the mentor here, Ashish. So I don't think maintainer is the right word. I mean the mentor is the right word, because we have so many maintainers. So you want to reach out to the project mentors, not the project maintainer, for understanding their preferences. So we have another question for Vishal. How can I have my proposal? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I
we
was
just
running
answered
backward.
that.
Okay. So Ashley, you can share the link with your mentor in the yes. So if you have any question, please feel free to drop it. Also, before the next question, it's also something I want to share. A tip. Sorry. Apart from submitting your proposal, right, you also need to convince your mentor that you understand the project, right? That is a very important aspect, right? So don't just go submitting your proposal and saying, "Hey, I'm Ace. I can do this. My stack. I write 10,000 programming languages." I
Mm-hmm,
mean,
mm-hmm.
that would not convince your mentor. Trust me, trust me. Don't go ahead and say, I write Go, I write. That is not related to what the project is about, right? The mentor is not interested in how many technologies you know. The mentor is just interested in you being able to like do the projects, right? So you need to convince the mentor that you understand the project. I mean, you can go as far as detailing how the project works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I believe, to me personally, in some of the projects I'm mentoring, that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. I need to
Mm-hmm.
see if you understand the project. I'm not going to spend a huge chunk of time of the project timeline to onboarding you to the project, right? I don't want to do that. I want to believe you understand how the project works. That is one thing I believe you should also include in your proposal. You need to convince the mentor that you do. And it is one thing I actually saw in one of the proposals I reviewed, and I loved it a lot. Like, damn, it was awesome, right? This candidate actually convinced me that he understood the project. So that is one thing I'm looking for also, and I believe other mentors are looking for. Please, if you have a good understanding of the project, you have enough time, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
enough time to understand the project. You have enough time to ask questions. Please, I would advise. It's a tip, right? It's not a must. I mean, something I would love to see when submitting your proposal. Please, you should do that. So, Akshat, on the suggestion to all mentees, please make the proposal as a formal document. Exactly. Fancy things in proposal don't make any addition to your selection. You should be clear about the notion of the project. Exactly. Please go straight to the point. Don't try to market what, like, you write 10,000 programming languages, or make your proposal fancy. No, it will not convince the mentor. Mentors are only interested in folks that they believe would do the work.
Yeah,
You have
just
anything you want to say to
advice like, yeah, I just want to advise like I said, read the project description. That's where you will get an idea of how to structure your proposal. Those small
Mhm.
things that people tend to overlook are what is important to the mentor. Follow instructions, like really take time to read, not just to read to just write your proposal, like read and understand what the project is all about. And like I said, it doesn't matter whether you are a self-taught, whether you are a university student. What matters is like you have the right skills. If you have done a Java script project, you say, hey, I have done a similar project detailing what you have done. I've created a generator using JavaScript, blah, blah, blah. Then you insert the link and say, here's what I've done. Then this is what I would do to improve the project. Then you detail your timeline. Then you send it to the mentor. So, like what Akshat is saying, make the document, the proposal like a formal document, straight to the point. No fancy words or no fancy any fancy stuff. Just straight to the point, simple, but the best formal proposal. Yeah.
Awesome. Also, there's also one thing I want to mention that I believe you should also be careful of. And this is basically based on my past Google Summer of Code coordination. Uh, is don't try to act smart, right? Don't forget that even if you were smart enough to get selected, the mentor would eventually find out during the program,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Yeah.
can get disqualified, right? So don't don't act smart, right? Don't the slot someone, a fit candidate, could have gotten. Don't get this opportunity and end up wasting it, because a lot of people are dying to get selected, right? So don't act corny. Don't show that you are so smart, and maybe you are smart enough, you get selected. The mentor would find out at the end of the day, and they they, we have evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think because you eventually got selected, you can, manipulate your way through. I don't think that's possible. Mentors will disqualify you and get a new candidate, I believe.
Yeah, that's the same thing that I was saying, that make sure you take time to, I will repeat this until, like, take time to really go through the project. Don't like use ChatGPT to just write the application, because one way or the other it will catch up with you during the project or during the program. In the middle of the program, you're not able like to deliver what you said on your proposal, so it will catch up with you. Trust me. And mentors are smart. They've been in this industry for quite a long time. So make sure you are just honest and as simple and honest as possible. Trust me, that will get you into the program. So don't act smart, don't act like you know it all, or I don't know, or use shortcuts, or
Mhm.
just be as honest and detailed as possible.
Awesome, awesome. And also, one more thing, another tip I want to share with you is when you are writing your proposal. This is something I made personally as a mentor. I'm looking forward to is when writing your proposal, I need to also know what are the future plans you have for a project after the wisdom of code ends, right? So it's something I'm looking forward to. I mean, other mentors might not be interested in that. I mean, something I'm looking forward to. I want to know what the plans you have for the project after the wisdom of code ends. Are you still gonna keep contributing? Are you gonna hand over? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's something I'm also like interested in saying in my applicant's proposal. So one more thing, I also another tip I want to share, right, is when drafting your timeline, like your project timeline, I'm also looking forward to um, ensuring how you plan on tracking the list of issues. Do you plan on sharing these publicly? Do you plan on creating a list of issues? How do you plan on actually making these things available publicly? Are you going to just build it privately, or you're gonna like involve the rest of the community on your project update? Are you gonna share updates with the community, or are you just gonna build in private? It's something I'm also like looking for in my own proposal. How you plan on um, engaging these projects, right? Me personally, I would love a candidate that is willing to share with the rest of the community and communicate to the rest of the community during their project phase. Say, oh, I just finished this. It doesn't have to be on Slack. It can even go on GitHub by creating a big issue, like a single issue to track discussions and track all the resolved issues and just to share updates about how far you've gone in the project, so the rest of the community can also see. Because I want someone personally, I would love to have someone that is interested in sharing with the rest of the community. So we have a question from Geek's Voice. I have already started contributing to the VS Ethan KPI People Markdown plus Muhammad. Should I include all the tasks I've completed so far in the project timeline? So far in the project timeline, or I should only focus on the pending? So when you say should include it on the project timeline, I would say if you've already started contributing, when you say you started contributing, do you have pull requests merged, or what do you mean? Do you have something we can see that state that you've actually started contributing to the project? Because if you already started contributing to the project, I believe you should share a link to your contributions, so the mentor can see how what are the things you've contributed to. Or because it seems I'm not
Yeah.
getting your question.
Yeah. And then also, if the tasks are they part of the
Yes, are the
project,
tax
if
part of
they're
the
not,
project?
yeah, are the task part of the project? If not, yes, you can say, hey, I have contributed to something that is similar here, my pull requests, if they are matched, of course. Or if you just, you can say, hey, I'm
It
interested in
doesn't have
this
to be met,
project.
even if it's
Yeah,
still
it
open.
doesn't have to be matched. Even if it's still open, like I've contributed to the similar project, then you can share a link to that. Then you also detail like how you want to tackle the project. But if the tasks are not part of the project, they don't need to be in the timeline. Just focus on what the project entails. But yes, you can highlight what you have done to improve your application. You say, I have contributed to something similar on the community. Here are my pull requests, whether matched or whether they are still in work in progress. Yeah.
Yes, so that's it. King voice. So I believe you should, if you're contributing to the VS, I think it might be you Markdown, then I believe you should add the links to these contributions in your proposal. So the project timeline is actually for you to like tell your mentor how you plan on approaching your project during the duration of Google Summer of Code, right? So anything related to past contributions or contributions you've already started making should not be in the project timeline. That should be in the list of references for contributions you've made. The project timeline is for when the project starts, how you plan to approach it to the end. So I hope that answers the question. Ashmit, is it okay to include things from references I have used for research and add links to the show? Of course, anything,
Yeah.
any research you should not even include it. You should include it. Anything that you think that we believe is going to boost your chances of being selected, you should include it. Even if it is not SKPI related, even if it is other open source projects, you should include it. Nikhil says, I have started contributing to one of the new branch created by the mentor. Oh, I think Nikhil is also Geek's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yes, you should include the link to the contributions in your proposal, Nikhil. Yeah, you should. Anything from you, Tuli, before I move on to the next thing I want to share?
No, I think we covered most of everything. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I have some other tips I would love to share. So one thing I also want to share uh, in candidates that are actually interested in the website UI keys, to be specific, because I've started reviewing some of these proposals, and I've been providing feedback. And also, I want to like mention it, if you are submitting a proposal for the SNKPI website UI kits, I think when when you're trying to like sell yourself to your mentor for that particular project, I think you should include how you plan on improving existing components, right? Sorry, because I think a lot of people just like miss that part and they just go on and say, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna build. But then what happened to the existing ones we have, right? You should also like tell us like how you plan on improving them. Are you going to delete them? Are you going to write them from scratch? What are you going to do? Right? It's something I'm also like looking forward to in that particular project. So I think you should include it in the website UI Kids project if you are applying for that. Hi, Mentu. Hi, thanks for joining. If you have any question, please let me know. And also,
Mm,
if you are interested in if your mentor doesn't like have time to review your proposal or is busy or is responding late, please reach out to me or Tuli. We are also like willing to help review proposals, right? So you can reach out to
mhm.
us. It doesn't have to be your mentor. We can also like help you review your proposal. Please do that if you have the chance to.
Yeah. Also, please be cautious of time. I think the final projects need to be submitted by the 2nd of April. So that gives you a little over this week. Is that this week?
I
Ah,
think
the
two
coming
weeks.
week. Yeah. Yeah. The coming, yeah, it's a week and a half to like review. I'm not counting Easter weekend, by the way. I take my holiday seriously. So yeah, that give you a little over a week and a half, like to get your drafts ready and to like get your draft reviews before you submit your final application through Google Summer of Code website. So make sure you have the date in mind so that you don't delay to apply for you for yourself. Yeah.
Yes, please keep the date in mind. Don't apply late. Also, have that at the back of your mind that we are here to help you succeed, right? So we are here to help you succeed. So we are here to give you an excellent Google Summer of Code experience at SNKPI. So have that at the back of your mind. And also, if you also want to like hop on a call with me, let me know. I'm willing to like hop on calls with interested contributors to help them. I mean, I believe some folks are not that good when it comes to like communicating via text. Some people prefer like talking. So if that is you, feel free to like reach out to me on Slack and schedule a meeting with me. I'm willing to help. So we have another question from Mintu. The conference website project involves a bit of design. Is the design part included in the project or Tule will help with it? The
Me?
conference website project involves a bit of design. So if it involves a bit, I don't think it does, because if it involves a bit of design, you don't have to worry. We have someone that would help with the design whenever needed. So we have one of the maintainers of the one of the contributors of the conference website, and also design maintainer is Maya, and I believe Maya would be glad to help you with any design needed during the project timeline. I hope that answers the question, Mintu. Any other question? We before we call it a day. It's past an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Any other question? Any other question? Okay. Also, one thing I want to mention that I haven't like mentioned before is actually about mentors, right? So we have a com- um, code of conduct committee at is in KPI now. So if you have complained about any mentor at all, or you think a mentor is not fit, or a mentor you don't like it when the mentor talks to you, or communicate with you, please feel free to report such mentor. Right? We will fix that. I mean, we are not just like saying mentee. We are also trying to like be on the lookout for mentors. So because we wanted to have an experience, an exciting division of code experience. So if you have any complaints about any mentor, please feel free to reach out to us. Either of, can you share the link to the CLC today?
Yeah, the code of conduct committee. Okay, let me
Mhm.
quickly share this.
So you
Bam,
can
bam,
report any of the
bam.
mentors. We would resolve it as quickly as possible. So while we wait for Tuli to share the link, another thing I also want to share is actually the question I get a lot that from candidates that say, "Hey, is as a contributor, am I going to end up being a maintainer?" I think that isn't up to me to decide. That is actually up to you, actually. Because if you're going to contribute to the mentor, to the project, the mentor would eventually see if you are a good fit to be a maintainer, and that will be determined by how you approach your projects, how you actually um, contributed to the project, how you approach the project as a whole. So it's not like saying because you contributed to Google Summer of Code that automatically makes you a maintainer of that particular project. No, it doesn't work like that. It's not an automatic check because you contributed to through Google Summer of Code. It is up to the mentor to see if you are actually uh, a fit to be a maintainer, and that decision is actually based on how you approach this project,
Yeah.
because we actually have some contributors from past Google Summer of Code that are actually that are currently mentors, maintainers and mentors in this current Google Summer of Code, and that's can eventually be you. Maybe in the next Google Summer of Code, you might be a mentee this year and end up being a mentor next year. So that is some of the perks of being a Google Summer of Code contributor at TCKBI. Okay, thanks for sharing the link, Lee. If there is no other question, I think this will be the end of this FAQ session. Also, have it
Mhm.
in mind if you have any question, please reach out to me. If you are not confident when it comes to chatting via Slack, you can schedule a meeting with me. I'm willing to hop on calls with you. No, we are here to help you. If you can reach out to me, reach out to Tuli. We are here to help you succeed and have a wonderful customer code experience. So, without no further ado, I think this will be the end of today's lesson. Thanks for joining. Thanks to Mintu. Thanks to Akshat, thanks to Nikhil, Olosho Olumide, Ashmit, Gupta. Thanks to Visha Sharma. You've been amazing. Thanks to everyone that joined. Thanks to the ones that we can't see but are currently watching. This has been an amazing session, an insightful one. Thanks to Tuli, my amazing colleague and friend. I mean, she's the best anyway. So, so thanks so much, and I guess to see you all soon. If you have any questions, don't forget to ask us on Slack. We are
Mhm.
active. We are also available to help answer your questions. See you on the other side. Have fun,
Yes.
guys.
See you on
Have fun,
Slack.
folks. Bye.
Bye.